Hey everybody, it's Colette Baron-Reid. Welcome to this week's Astro Oracle Reading. Now, I'm going to do things a little differently because of the way the camera is. I'm going to start on this side. Normally I go this side to that side. Start with Aries over here and go that away and show you the cards this, well, you'll see. You're going to see. If you've never seen this before, you're going to want to pick 3 cards. The first card you're going to want to talk about, or look at, is your card, your sun sign card. So say you're in Aries, you would look at Aries. Then say your rising sign or your ascendant was Sagittarius. Then say your moon was Virgo. Then you're going to go back and watch the Virgo. We have timestamps here to tell you where to go. That'll say that this is where you go for Aries, for Virgo, for Sagittarius, whatever. So I'm just kind of showing you how to do that. And if you don't know what these things are, just go to astro.com and put your birth data in, and you'll get all that information in there. Okay, let's start. So I'm going to pick the first card for Aries. Okay, so Aries is Divine Matrix. So this is the card for Aries. The Divine Matrix for the Aries personality represents the need to slow down. So Aries tend to be a bit impetuous and pioneering, and also always get stuff done. So this is asking to recognize that everything that you do has a consequence, and that everything is interconnected, so that there's this honoring this week for Aries about this interconnectedness and trusting that things are going to unfold exactly as they are, because your dreams are being woven into the fabric of reality, into this divine matrix, and you just need to exert patience. And that's not necessarily the most comfortable thing for an Aries, but I don't see why not. And that's a beautiful card for this week's reading. Now, for Taurus, let's see what Taurus has to say. Taurus is going to feel quite creative. This is Call of the Muse. So for the Taurian, it's about expressing yourself and coming out of the touchy-feely, needing things to be the same or feeling the comfort zone. It is asking you to be creatively inspired to move out of your comfort zone. You don't have to move too far. This is really about joy of expression. So this could be a very good week for you to draw, to write, to journal, to do whatever it is that you can do to express yourself your way to move outside your comfort zone, which is beautiful. Now let's look at Gemini. What would Gemini experience this week? And you notice I'm not putting the cards back in the deck because I decided that before I did the reading today. Oh, this is great. So Gemini, you've got all the time in the world. Time Machine is your card, and it relates to, if you think of the energy story about our past, our ancestors, our conditioning, the material world, our relationship to that. Whereas with Taurus, it was expression. You're more the expressive one. And Divine Matrix was the spiritual piece for Aries. For you this week, you also have to remember that you actually have a lot of information already that you've experienced in the past. You have a lot of knowledge and wisdom already that you can rely on this week to get through this week. So maybe some of the epiphanies that we talked about in that reading for the entire week could actually come from something that you've learned already and you're seeing it come around again. And so don't think that there's any rush to do anything this week. It's more about the contemplative moments that you have, realizing that, wow, I already know this and I know what to do and I know what's right. Okay, Cancers is next in perfect harmony, and that's me. So the Cancerians, you like to be in harmony. I think that's true both of Libra and Cancer. We have that desire for everybody to get along and feel safe and comfortable in a home-like environment. And this is a really great week for Cancerians to remember that harmony isn't codependency. Harmony doesn't mean that you acquiesce or compromise too much in order for somebody not to hurt you, for example. This is really being honest and authentic so that your note rings true. And therefore, it is in alignment with others. It is the energy story about relationships and intimacy. So this could also be a little bit less about the collective and more about who you are in personal harmony with. It's which of the friends you know you feel good. Get on the phone with those guys or on Zoom and have a tea. This would be the week to do it. Okay, and just like that, we changed the format. Here we go next. So let's talk about Leo. So Leo, your week, starts with, it's at the heart. It's about letting go your resentments. This is a beautiful card that represents you really cleaning house. After your epiphany, remember we talked about the epiphany, and then we talked about the inspiration and knowing what to do, and then listening deeply, and then having the courage to change things and staying in this perfect harmony. Well, it may be that you have to let go of some judgment. So that is for Leo. And Leo, you are so generous and so kind and so loving. This is not going to be hard for you at all. You're good, especially when you see how when change is required of you, being required to have a more generous spirit, you're always the first person to have that. So that's good. Now let's take a look at Virgo. So, that's interesting. So Virgo is waking the lion, just like this week. So waking the lion is courage. So Virgos, I think sometimes, and I've certainly noticed that, I have a lot of Virgos in my life and I need them in my life. They're so phenomenally organized, and so everything is so sacred. It's hard also because there's a tendency for self-criticism. And Mark, my husband, has his moon in Virgo, so I know this card is for you, Mark. Anyway, waking the lion is about courage. So it's a courage to look at yourself differently and courage to actually make some changes. So that's going to be for you this week, Virgo. Hey everybody, it's time for a break. Hey, did you attend my webinar, my free webinar on the magic of journaling last week? If not, guess what? Remember this? You have a replay that you can listen to for free. So don't forget, subscribe to my channel. Just press the subscribe button, then a little bell comes up, and then when you click on the bell, you'll get a notification when this video is up again. And don't forget to leave a comment. We love to read them. Okay, so let's take a look at Libra. Libra has got endless possibilities. I love this card. I also love it because my rising sign is Libra. And this is all about busting through your limiting beliefs and recognizing that there is more than you ever thought possible if you can make some of the changes that were mentioned in the week's entire reading. So it's super, super fantastic for Libras this week. It also reminds you too that there are ways in which that you can reach out to others. Remember, that was kind of implied in the entire reading. And without losing yourself. That's also part of this as well. Endless possibilities for you and others that you can tune into without losing yourself in it. Okay, let's take another card here. So now we're going to look at Scorpio. So let's see my Scorpio, beautiful, deep, complicated Scorpios. Okay, so let's look at this. Earth magic. Okay, so Scorpio, this is a fantastic week for you to get grounded. You're making really deep, meaningful changes this week. So being grounded and trusting it and putting your roots down and not being in a rush to see how they're going to manifest. And for Scorpios, you're deep and you just love to get into the complexities of things. Every one of my Scorpio girlfriends was like that. And I love that. I love that. I love all the signs. There's beauty in all the signs. Scorpios in particular, this week, you're really getting grounded with all the things that you want to do and to experience and to even challenge yourself, for example. So that's really a beautiful card for you this week. Now let's look at Sagittarius. Friendly, fabulous, philosophical Sages. Let's see. The storyteller. This is fantastic. Okay, so we are looking at how the Sag tells the story. Now, Sagittarius is always thinking of the highest, they're the highest good ones, the ones that know that there's something greater than, that look at that highest philosophy of life, and they want to see that for others. And so this is the story that you tell, Sagittarius, this week. What story are you going to tell? And since we're asking what is in the highest good, this is what you're going to be looking for. Is how do I tell the story and add to the story of all for the highest good? So this is wonderful. Okay, now let's look at Capricorn. Capricorns, a nice, fabulously grounded Capricorns. Beautiful. So we know Capricorns can be quite ambitious. And so this is, and I'm not, minimizing anybody just with a little soundbite, but earthy people, and they get stuff done. And so shining through is wonderful. So for the Capricorns this week, this really is about shining on behalf of the divine. And everything that you attempt this week really has that beautiful expression of the divine through you. So your best ideas will be able to be expressed this week in these wonderful changes that we're all being invited to do and to take part in this week, which is fabulous. Okay, so I'm going to clean this up, okay? I always wanted to be Samantha from Bewitched, and now I figured out how. Okay, now we have Aquarius and Pisces. So let's see what's going on for Aquarius. Let's see, Aquarius. I feel Aquarius is here. Yeah, sacred reverence. Beautiful. So Aquarians, this is the conversation that you have about your relationship to spirit and the sacred quality of all people, all things, all of life, all of nature, and how everyone thinks can be different than the other, because you're really all about that higher purpose for the community, for that 11th house, right, of groups. And so this is really seeing everyone as sacred in the group, everybody, not just some. And that's a gorgeous card for you this week, Aquarius, because it's really natural for you to do that. Okay, so Pisces, this is beautiful uncaging. Let's look at the last card. So this is really about guilt. The story that we tell about guilt, the times that you might have taken on the burden of others and forgotten yourself. When you've inadvertently taken on stuff of other people that really isn't yours to carry, and possibly doing harm with that also. Not that I'm saying you did any harm, Pisces, but I'm just saying is that you know how it is when, like, let's say we're talking about alcoholics, for example. We always say never rob an alcoholic of their bottom, because they won't get there. They won't get the real lesson. So it's the same thing. Don't rob anybody of their bottom, and don't allow anybody else to guilt you into something that you know isn't right. So for Pisces this week, your integrity is key. Release yourself from the guilt that isn't even yours, and know that as long as you stay in your authentic, boundaries also, your boundaries are sacred, especially this week, you'll know what to do. All right, this has been the Astro Oracle reading for the week. Cool, huh? Hey, and remember, we had a fantastic free video workshop last weekend called The Magic of Journaling. And if you've ever wanted to get journaling to work for you and you didn't know how, watch the replay. It's super great and very helpful. Take care. If you like this video, share it with your friends and like my page. That would be awesome. Leave a comment. We love reading the comments, and I hope you've enjoyed it. Take care.